E ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai ka iki mai luna mai, ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai, ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai, e ho mai ka iki mai luna mai, ona mea huna no awe mele e. Hele hoe ya kala o Mauka o Kona. Hele hoe o Makai, mainland, wherever you are, joining us here today. Welcome. Kakaiaka e komo mai. What a beautiful Sunday morning here in Kailua, Kona. Thank you so much for joining us. And as we get started with our service this morning, we'll always start with prayer. So I'll ask Reverend Eric, our speaker today, come up and do our morning prayers.
So we just continue in that prayerful space. Let us turn within and pray. We realize the very presence of God right here and right now. That very presence that lives and moves within the universe, lives and moves within each of us. Whatever the conditions of our lives this morning, we bring it to the divine. We set it in the place of heaven and know that things are changed by this divine willingness. This morning we unify with the divine, knowing that God expresses through each and every one of us. Our abilities are spiritual abilities that we can use to transform our lives. And so we give thanks for these and all God's blessings. We give thanks for the many ways that God expresses in our lives through family and friends, through acquaintances, through pets, and the natural world that we live in. And we release all our desires to the divine. We allow spiritual progress to take place this morning in confidence that God's Spirit is at work and spiritual unfolding is taking place. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Eric. And as we get started with our morning service and affirmation for the month, so if you'd like to please stand and we'll do the affirmation for the month. Should be right here up on the board momentarily. There it is. The word power. Together, I have the power to create my world. And so it is. And as we standing, so let's please do our opening song, Stand Together by Faith Rivera. We have some singers on stage. Got a microphone for you too. Always have an extra microphone. Here we go. Something great is happening, love is taking hold, and it won't let it go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean, roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live your dream, every high is calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make the difference. Let's stand together. Share gifts to the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Ooh, oh, oh. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing. Feel your passion blazing and shine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live your dream, every high is calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make the difference. Let's stand together. Share gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Ooh, oh, oh. It's one dream, and one voice, one heart, and one mind, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, and one world.
Stand together.
One dream,
Stand.
and one voice,
Stand.
and one heart,
Stand.
and one world.
Stand together.
Live your dream, every high is calling. Be the hope of the new day dawning. We're the ones who can make the difference. Let's stand together. Share gifts for the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. And as we're all standing, look over, reach them, knuckle bumper, elbow somebody, say hi here in the sanctuary. And if you're joining us on the online Facebook, please leave a comment so that we can formally greet everybody, guests and visitors, as we love to do, with a great big aloha and God bless you.
Aloha.
And so it is. It's good to see some new faces in the church this morning. Welcome. Hi, guys. What a beautiful Sunday morning, and what a great way to start a new week with a brand new month. And so I have a few announcements as we get going with our service this morning. First and foremost, we are a prayer ministry. And so we have the You Pray app, and so the prayer works in our lives, and it changes everything. So you can download the free Unity app and the Silent Unity, and if you choose, you can receive affirmations and responses from Unity. And with that, the prayer requests are prayed over for 30 consecutive days. So there are many ways that the church may help you with prayer, so please don't hesitate to call the church. Prayer support. We have prayer chaplains. Our phone number is 808-322-0885. So using the power of prayer. We have prayer request forms in the back of the sanctuary, so please fill out a prayer request if you're here in the sanctuary, and we'll pray over those here at the church and then send them on down to Silent Unity. And so with the power of prayer in our lives, let's utilize the tools that we have. And so a couple other announcements as we get started with a new month. We have a new volunteer of the month. And we'd like to say congratulations to Glenna Hagedorn. Glenna, mahalo, Glenna. All your loving service for our ministry. We are so blessed to have you at Unity of Kona. Well, Glenna and her husband Stan are faithful attendees when they're here on the islands, and when they're not, well, they do watch it via online broadcast, and she's always on the online Zoom social hour. So, Glenna, we appreciate all your services, and she also does these workshops when she's on island for the jewelry making. And being always willing to help and service so many different ways, we want to all say we love you, Glenna, and mahalo for service. Our volunteer of the month, Glenna Hagedorn. Today is also birthday Sunday. It's the first Sunday of the month, and so we'd like to acknowledge everyone who has a birthday in this month of May. Well, by celebrating with you and wishing you a day and even a year filled with many blessings, I call it my birthday month, we'd especially like to acknowledge our ohana, which is Bonnie Stein, Jim Carey, Kimberly Davison, Mamie Bramlett, Michelle Jarvis, Tom Metz, and Tori Horier. Well, happy birthday, everyone. Ha'ole la hanao. You want to do a little bit of birthday songs? Happy birthday. Well, please consider becoming a contributor and sharing your time, talent, and treasures with the church here. We definitely need and volunteer service, and so if you would please have any, now that even our services are online, we still are needing volunteers. We welcome volunteers coming up on stage, doing some singing, playing the music, or reading the daily word, platform assistance, many ways that you could help out here at the church. And with the skeleton crew, we're all putting in overtime here with the service. It'd be nice to have a little help and people involved with the church as things start to loosen up. Let's get back involved with our church service. So please leave an email at theunityofkona@gmail.com, subject line volunteers, or do give the church a call at 808-322-0885. And as we are staying the course for the Sunday services, following required guidelines, social distancing, seating arrangements, properly wearing the masks that cover the nose, we are continuing to take temperatures, obtaining signed release forms, and requesting that all socializing take place outside of the church after the service. And so we appreciate you bearing with us through these times as we continue to navigate these challenging we also reserve the right to make any necessary changes as the situation may change. Our board of directors wants to keep everyone here safe while also allowing as much as possible for our church ohana to safely see one another again soon. Come back, guys. We're open. Put the big old open sign up there. Well, that's a few of the announcements that I have for today, so please do join us tonight after the service for the Zoom, via Zoom social hour. Services are also recorded Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. So share them with your friends and family. As our ohana grows, it's the loving energy of prayer that grows. And so it's a wonderful thing. And now it's time for the daily word. And I've asked Ke Aloha Sigiyama, come up, say a daily word for us. Thank you, Ke Aloha.
Today's word is grace. The grace of God is alive in me. I don't need to do anything to earn or deserve the grace of God because it is always present, mine to claim in any situation. Grace dawns in my awareness as soon as I move beyond the limits of my human understanding. I let go and let the peace, love, wisdom, and strength of God fill me, lift me, and guide me. In both the challenging and the ordinary moments of life, the grace I give and the grace I receive keep the awareness of God in my heart. During a tough conversation, a thought comes to mind that helps reestablish harmony. As I mull an important decision, a fresh insight clarifies my thinking. Feeling overwhelmed by my to-do list, I feel renewed energy and move forward with strength and enthusiasm. In these moments and more, I discover grace anew. From his fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. John chapter 1, verse 16. Together, let's recite today's affirmation. The grace of God is alive in me, and so it is.
Thank God for the grace. Let it dwell in my heart so I share it with the people I meet. Without grace, we are nothing. So thank you, God. Thank you, Ke Aloha. Now is the time to visualize the sanctuary, and as we come together in this spiritual moment, rest your eyes and visualize the sanctuary, and visualize the sanctuary of your soul. See it as a beautiful heart. As you feel the loving energy of those around you flowing in and through you. Feel the loving energy flowing around every person, every being on this earth and in this world. And if you know of anybody, any person, any being on this earth or in this world in need of prayer, see them in the center of this most beautiful heart as we say together the prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you. Thank you, God. We have a little music, special music today from Joe Conti. Thank you, Joe.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs. And there you were. With sweet love and devotion. Didn't need touching my emotion. I want to stop. Thank you, babe. I just want to stop and thank you, babe. How sweet it is to be loved by you. sweet it is to be loved by you. Neither from the lies at night, there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, gently touching my emotion, I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. With sweet love and devotion, gently touching my emotion, I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by all of you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Thank you so much, Joe. And now Reverend Eric, will ask Reverend Eric to come up and do our morning meditation and service. Thank you, Reverend Eric.
Mahalo. And now we take time to unite in the practice of meditation. And so we do what we need to do to relax our bodies and settle our minds. Just invite you to close your eyes and rest in this place. The words of John 15 provide inspiration for our meditation today. I am the vine, and my Father is the vine grower. I am the vine, and my Father is the vine grower. And so I relax and let go. I am present to my good. I am present to God. And as I breathe, like a vine, I expand, sometimes amazingly. My growth is connected to Christ consciousness. And all that I am comes from the one creative source. I rest in the quiet. Abide in me as I abide in you. Abide in me as I abide in you. And as I breathe, I connect and concentrate. I abide in the divine. I stay fixed on the one source. I am one with the power and plenty of the universe. I allow myself to experience the quiet. I am the vine, you are the branches. I am the vine, you are the branches. I breathe in and out as I go deeper. As a branch to a vine, I am a unique expression of the divine essence. I am rich in spiritual awareness. I open my mind and heart as I move into the silence. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit. And as I once again breathe deeply and fully, I take the idea that I can live abundantly. I express the divine and give. I shift my mind to this present place and I give thanks for this time of shared meditation. With gratitude for those meditating with me today and contributing to my practice, I give thanks for this shared consciousness is so powerful. I use this beneficial energy as I move into my daily life. Amen. When I visited the church, I was surprised by the choir of mostly men. There was something different about this place. And I was blessed by the sacred music. I was impressed by the stone building, the towering ceiling, the multicolored windows, and those sturdy wooden pews. As I observed that first time, there were all these little white-haired women who took their places in the sanctuary, and then all these men, some of them obviously couples. I had come to this church because it was known for being inclusive, and there was something very different about this place. You see, those women had endured. Many of them had lost their husbands, and their children had moved away. But the men were survivors too. Many of them had lost their partners and friends to HIV/AIDS, and yet they were welcomed. The two female ministers stirred my interest in social justice. They supported the LGBTQ community in disagreement with their denomination. They started food programs for those experiencing poverty and spoke out about ending the death penalty. this did not become my permanent spiritual home, but I was different from being in that determined atmosphere. So this morning, I want us to answer a question for ourselves. What is your mindset? And what does it mean to you when I say prosperous living? Maybe you thought of money. I did the first time I heard that. And today we're going to talk about money, but we're also going to talk about prosperity in a broader context. You know, the Hebrew and Christian scriptures suggest the power of increase with phrases like, your reward shall be great. Connected with sacred power, we may apply our own spiritual abilities to produce beneficial outcomes. So today, we'll clarify the abundance zone. We'll talk about the sacred capacity of power and applying our spiritual mastery to prospering. I invite you to affirm with me, I thrive when I place my consciousness in the abundance zone. We continue with the story of feeding the more than 5,000 in Luke 9:12 through 17. The day was drawing to a close, and the 12 came to Jesus and said, send the crowd away so that they may go to the surrounding villages and countryside to lodge and get provisions, for we are in a deserted place. But he said to them, you give them something to eat. And they said, but we have no more than 5 loaves and 2 fishes, unless we go and buy food for all those people. And there were more than 5,000 men. And he said to his disciples, make them sit down in groups of about 50 each. And so they did this, and they made them sit down. And he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven and blessed them and broke them and gave them to the disciples to set before the crowd. And all ate and were filled. What was left over was gathered up, 12 baskets of broken pieces. Do you hear that? There was extra. There was extra. This narrative in Luke is likely based on an earlier oral tradition, and other versions are found in the other 3 Gospels. But I'm not really concerned with, did this really happen? What I'm interested in is, what does this mean for us? You know, fish are said to symbolize inexhaustible ideas, and bread, the very substance of life. The Christ exemplifies abundant consciousness in this story. And does the story suggest that all things are possible? Yes. We live in a plentiful universe. We may set our minds in the abundance zone, a place of awareness of all sufficiency. Jesus called it the kingdom of heaven, a realm of creative consciousness. And when we take on this mindset, we are actually set up to thrive. I'm not there all the time, and I realize you're not there all the time. But let us think about emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health, about growth in our relationships, about a meaningful purpose in life and plentiful resources available to you. This is the zone of there is more than enough. So what blocks our prosperity? What might you and I be impeding? You know, the challenges sound a lot like other spiritual journeys. They include doubts, worry, bitterness, belief in action, belief in lack, and even being ungenerous. I used to drive through a town called Tightwad in central Missouri. It's a real place. Not long ago, its population was 64, and I was always intrigued. There's a 19th century tale that says the village's unusual name came from an incident when a store owner charged a customer an extra 50 cents for a watermelon. Or maybe it was a rooster. The Tightwad Bank opened in 1984, and so many people wanted their money in that bank that they had more than $2 million in deposits. This is me in front of the bank, but I never actually had money there, and it is now closed. But what this story says to me is for us to all ask, when have we been a tightwad? When have we felt close-fisted or stingy? And it may seem logical to hang on, but being generous is actually one of the ways to thrive in the zone of abundance. Reverend Edwin Gaines committed her life to transforming humanity's perception of abundance. And in her book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, she writes, "We have to learn to be masters of our money and not let it be a master of us. We must realize that the power to bring about real and positive change in the world is not in gold bullion, stocks, or bonds. Instead, the power is within us as children of God at the level of our spirituality. And as we practice prosperity, we may use affirmations, tithing, visioning, or goal setting, and even forgiveness and realizing our divine purpose. Are we in the zone? Let us open to this field of possibilities, a zone of plenty. And this abundance also includes inclusiveness. You know, the first Christians actually adopted a model of shared leadership. Sometimes we forget that. Women and non-Jews were welcomed and often became leaders. And I'll paraphrase a story this morning about Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 8, verses 26 to 40. An angel of the Lord said to Philip, "Get up and go toward the south to the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza." And on the wilderness road, Philip notices an Ethiopian eunuch, a court official in charge of the treasury of the queen of the Ethiopians. This individual has come to Jerusalem to worship and was returning home, seated in a chariot and reading from the prophet Isaiah. The Spirit said to Philip, "Go over to the chariot." And so Philip runs up to the chariot and asks, "Do you understand what you're reading?" And the person replies, "How can I unless someone guides me?" And the individual invited Philip to get in. And one passage was particularly challenging. And the eunuch asked Philip, "About whom, may I ask, does this prophet say this? About himself or someone else?" And Philip begins to share the good news of the Christ. And as they go along the road, they come to some water. And the eunuch asks, "Look, here is water. What is to prevent me from being baptized?" And then Philip and the eunuch went down to the water, and Philip baptized. And when the eunuch came up out of the water, Philip was gone. The eunuch went on his way rejoicing. This story is being read in various churches today that follow the Bible through the year. I wanted to share it this morning in this context of abundance. We remember that this Philip is not the disciple of Jesus. This is Philip the evangelist. This story is either passed down or it's the creation of the author of Acts. Either way, it seeks to further the message of the early church. Philip was a leader in the Jerusalem church, and when the persecution of Christians began in the city, he left to preach in Samaria, that area between Judea and Galilee, and it is there that he meets the Ethiopian. Philip later goes to Caesarea and sometimes hosts guests like Paul and Luke and others who are traveling. So what do we know about the Ethiopian eunuch? This unnamed person is a trusted official in charge of a royal treasury. Eunuchs often served women in wealthy households. In our current language, a eunuch is a castrated man, but the concept had broader definition in ancient times, meaning a sexual minority. Castrated men, homosexual men, or intersex folks. Recent perspectives suggest that this person was a triple outsider: foreign, black, and unconventional. Though it's also very helpful for us to remember that there are no white people in the Bible, okay? But this passionate soul is welcomed. What does this story suggest for us this morning about abundance and power? Philip travels without a goal, and he's guided by a divine message symbolized by an angel. Philip represents that spiritual ability of power and dominion, and we are each receiving God's blessing, represented by the baptism of the Ethiopian. The story suggests that an abundant life is for all, you included. Our human ability to master our base senses, our feelings, thoughts, and beliefs expresses in various ways. And with ego, it may show up as being domineering or controlling. From personality, we use it to grasp new concepts and ideas. We may use it to control our thoughts and feelings. And with elevated consciousness, we use it to master divine ideas, truths, principles, and laws. And as we grow in mastery, we move to a place of self-confidence. We often associate our dominion with speaking in the area of the throat. And when we speak boldly in this zone of abundance, we realize vibrant health, relationships, career, and finances. Eric Butterworth, the author of Spiritual Economics, suggested that we change our thoughts about prosperity, that we accept the idea of all sufficiency, the idea that there is enough for you and me, that we claim abundance and become powerful inspirations for others of living abundant lives. You know, I realize that there is so much loss in the world. This year, more than 13,000 Americans have died from gun violence, and more than 10,000 have been injured. We can ask the question, how do we alleviate disparity, division, and violence? Of course, more than 570,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, and many more worldwide. How do we focus on our own well-being, the health of our fellow human beings, and the health of our planet at large? What would the world look like if we lived from the abundance zone? You know, it's not beneficial to blame ourselves or others for conditions, but simply to continue to shift our minds to thriving health, relationships, careers, and finances. So let's look at each of these. At health, we each benefit from support and encouragement. We can extend that idea to someone whose gender identity may not conform to your expectation. We're healthy when we all have a psychological sense of ourselves. And the idea of public health, that can even extend to our attitude about guns. How can we make our neighborhoods safer and reform public safety to increase safeguards? We can look at relationships, at inclusivity, which is a present trend. Feel the richness of moments with your fellow distinct God beings. Treasure those times with other individuals. Inclusivity recognizes the rich rewards of diversity. And I think back to that inner city church that I mentioned. Today, it's about half LGBTQ with a smaller number of African American and Hispanic people. We can think about our careers in abundant ways. We can ask ourselves, what are our angels telling us? What is yours to do? And if you're retired, how are you contributing to the world? Do you pray? Do you write? Do you encourage? Lean into spirit. Follow the guidance you receive and focus. And finances, or money. Our belief about money often comes with theories, our own and our culture. You know, I read about a family in Raleigh, North Carolina that regularly gathers adequate food from grocery store dumpsters, but not because they have to. They're committed to preventing waste, and when there is so much waste in the United States, they regularly feed their family and several other families that are food insecure. You see, plenty exists. We speak to the universe about what we desire. Let us affirm again together. I thrive when I place my consciousness in the abundance zone. So are you in that zone? Leave here today with the goal that you can shift your thinking about prosperity. Accept the idea of all sufficiency. There is more than enough in this world. Claim your abundance. And pair your spiritual ability of power with your other spiritual powers. As Edwin Gaines suggests, become a master of money. Share your generosity. Become a sage for love. Use your dominion of joy. And I want to join you in thriving. This week, we envision ourselves flourishing in the abundance zone. Namaste.
It's a wonderful place to be, the abundance zone. And as we hold the thoughts of abundance in our lives, hold the gifts in your hands as we get ready to do our blessing offering here. What a wonderful service. Thank you, Reverend Eric. I think we all needed that. So the offertory statement on the board. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. There's a tithe bowl in the back of the sanctuary, or please leave your gifts in the online service with the PayPal or any way you'd like to. The different methods of making contribution will be posted here. A little more music from Joe Condi. Thank you, Joe.
help for me. Have a heart, won't you, baby? Listening to my plea. I need all your love, I need your care. I need all the love you can spare. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Say you will. Say you'll help me up. I can't make it no further in this world alone. Begging with tears in my eyes, something you must recognize. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? You're my inspiration, babe. You could make me a king. If I don't come and get some rescue, I'll never be anything. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Just have a heart, won't you, baby? Listening to my plea. I need all your love, I need your care, and I need all the love you can spare. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? You're my inspiration, babe. You could make me a king. If you don't come to my rescue, I'll never be anything. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Have a heart, won't you, baby? Listening to my plea. Spare. Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Help the poor, help the poor. Won't you help for me? Mahalo.
Have too much fun, and the music really brings
I
the
agree.
light in.
I agree.
So thank you so much. What a blessing. And as we hold our gifts in our hands and pass them along, we say, thank you, God. As we know through Spirit, that as we give, so shall we receive. And now we dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this ministry, in our lives, in the community. And so it is. Amen. And today we'll hold each other in our hearts for the week, and we'll finish up with our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha oi. And in closing, please tune back next week. Feel free to tell your friends about the Facebook Live service and events, and also on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. And so next Sunday speaker, we have a special guest, Reverend Indrid Grace, and her topic will be Mothering the Mothers. Honoring the power of the mother in all of us, we will discuss the power of power. Among others, we will honor our mothers, as well as the creative, nurturing aspects in all of us. Stepping into our power of mothering and of healing, of creating, of nurturing, of giving is one of the greatest gifts we give to ourselves, to those around us and to the world. Music next week will be not Dondi Nueva. And so join us for Indrid Grace next week, our Mother's Day celebration. And so please join us for the after service Facebook Zoom, as well as music to close, our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha oi. You can stand if you like. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. So hold the grace in your hearts as we move forward till we meet again, my friends. Aloha oi. Thank you. Aloha oi. Aloha oi. Eke ona ona no ikalipo. One fond embrace. Until we meet again. Ahui ho and aloha. God bless you all. A little closing music from Joe. Thank you, my friend. Can never have too much fun.
Can't have too much fun.
Nope, that's my story. All right, what you got for us?
I'm not sure. I'll just start the beat and think of a song.
The color of the light that shines, electricity. So fine, look and dry your eyes, babe. Into the night, I'm dressed in pink and blue, just like a child. Turn to me and smile.